A Wisconsin judge has allowed a civil lawsuit filed against 10 fake electors for former President Trump and 2 of his attorneys to proceed. This after a move to dismiss the case. The lawsuit, filed by 2 Democratic electors and a voter, seeks more than $2 million from 16 fake electors, alleging they were part of a conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election in favor of Trump. The suit accuses them of submitting fake certificates confirming they were electors. A Dane County Circuit judge has scheduled the case to go to trial by September 2024, just 2 months before the presidential election.